Hi, my name is David On, and I'm doing my observation video. The school that I went to observe is called the Frost School, and it is a non-public Montgomery County school in Rockville, Maryland. The day that I went was November 24, 2015, and I went at 9:30 a.m. And so the school that I went to, the Frost School, I observed a class in the Oakmont Primary Program, which serves students with mainly autism, students with autism, and students with severe disabilities. And so some of the services they do provide, or the ones that they do provide, are speech and language therapy and occupational therapy. The summary of the observation is that at the time that I went, it was at 9:30 a.m. and so they were already into their second class. And it is a self-contained classroom where the students stay in their classrooms and just go through the day within 45 minutes. And so the classroom that I observed was for 45 minutes, and it was a reading class. And so when I first walked in, what I noticed in the room were a lot of visuals or a lot of posters that showed appropriate behaviors in and outside of the room, showing the three main policies, I guess you could say. It's be responsible, be respectful, and be safe. And those were all around the room, showing what those three things mean in different parts of the room or different parts of the school. And so when the day started out, or the 9:30 time started, I noticed the student that I was observing, or I chose to observe, he was sort of in his own world where he was sort of scripting, or it sounded like he was scripting from like a kid show or a cartoon. And that student that I was observing has an educational assistant. And at that time, the student and the educational assistant were working on something together. And once it hit that time for them to start reading, one student was chosen to go up and give every student from the basket a hero card. And these cards had heroes like Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Flash, all these other superheroes on them. And what the class was going to do was, once all the kids got the cards, another student would pick out from the basket a random card of a superhero, and whoever has that superhero card that the student picks out was able to choose the song that they're going to do for their warm-up exercise. And so one student got chosen, and he got to pick his favorite song, which was MC Hammer, Can't Touch This. And it was pretty funny to watch, because what they did was, before even putting on the song onto a smartboard in the front, most of the kids were given these rubber elastic bands, these green rubber elastic bands, and were able to use that to stretch while they're exercising while the video is going on. And so once the video was turned on, there was one EA in the front, educational assistant in the front, who was leading all the exercises. And the student that I was observing, instead of following the exercises, the student was jumping up and down, was touching his toes whenever they wanted to, not when the EA was saying it, was doing a lot of twisting and turning by themselves, and the EA was trying to help get the student to follow the other EA that was directing all the students, but had a hard time doing it, or a difficult time doing it. And so once that was over, the students were given but they were shown the behavior report card that they all have. And so the educational assistant went over to the student that I was observing and was showing all the things the student did correctly. And once the education assistant was done, the student chose to get onto the computer for 5 minutes. And so in that room there were 4 computers in a room, and so the student was able to go to that computer and watch his favorite show on YouTube. And from there, I noticed the student would, just sing along with the video or just like clap along. And once it was over, the student went right back to the seat, and the class did a popcorn read on the last chapter of Frankenstein. And what I noticed during that time of doing a popcorn read, there was that last chapter had visuals on it of the pictures of what could be, being shown throughout the words. And the student that I was observing, when it wasn't his turn to read, he was doing a lot of looking around the room, looking down, playing with his hands, scripting from probably the video he just watched. But when he got popcorn to read, the educational assistant used her fingers to direct which way to read, going, of course, from left to right, and helping to know where to look while they're reading and not lose their spot. And so that was during the popcorn read. And then after the popcorn read, the teacher asked several questions to the students, asking what, what was Dr. Frankenstein's what he should have done or not done, and then what was the monster's response, and what did the monster do and not do to the doctor, and all these things. And right afterwards, another time passed again for the behavior report cards again, and so right afterwards, the student was able to earn computer time again for 5 more minutes. Right after the computer time, student was able to go back, and then the kids at that time, because it was almost Thanksgiving break time, the kids were given a packet that had all these Thanksgiving activities, from word searches to puzzles, word puzzles, fill in the blanks, and some coloring for the students. And so throughout the time, the educational assistant helped the student be able to answer questions for the word, fill in the blanks, and then find words in the word search, or for the crossword puzzle also just to find the answers to some of the questions or the statements. And so throughout the way, that's what they did. And then once they were done, they did one last behavioral report card to see how the students were doing, did a checklist, and the student was able to get another computer time in.